The first thing I did when I got to work that day was confront my boss, Ashley, and tell her I would like to speak to her upstairs concerning my daughter with bruises on her arms. So I spoke to her upstairs about the bruises on her arms, and the first thing she tells me was she thinks they're bite marks. Well, to me, at that point, I was already so upset I was crying about the whole situation, and I was sent back to work. So as soon as I went back to work and the day went on, other employees went around telling me that Cherokee was saying things about me. So as I was walking down the hallway and I confronted her, I asked her, what is it any of her business talking about my daughter and my personal business? That's whenever she told me she could do whatever the she wants to. And at that point, I stepped to the right to leave the room. And as soon as I did that, she swung the door at me. And when she swung the door at me when I was going to leave the room, she provoked me. So I went back at her and I said, did you hurt my daughter? And she told me, yeah. And just right when she said, yeah, I lost it. I blacked out and I lost it. All I remember is just, Elizabeth, Elizabeth, stop. Elizabeth. And that's whenever I came back to it and I stopped and I left the room and I went to get the rest of my kids out of their classrooms. And I blacked out. I didn't know what happened. All I know is my daughter had bruises on my arm, on her arm, and I was already furious. And I shouldn't be the only one hurt in this situation. I shouldn't be the only one being charged with all these charges, the only one in trouble. I'm not the only one that put all the kids in danger. She also did too. There was way more words exchanged, and I don't even remember what was said to each other before the whole incident happened. I didn't just walk into the room and just hit her. There was words between both of us. She hit me with the door, she put a pencil in my face, and she hurt my daughter. I mean, what other mother wouldn't lose their mind in a situation like that? I didn't mean for any other child to get hurt, ever. None of them. They all loved me when I got to work, all of them. I'd never meant for none of them to get hurt. I'm so sorry the little girl got hurt. I never meant for that to happen at all. And she should be in trouble also. She should have lost her job also. She hit me with the door. She put a pencil in my face. She also had words to say. So why is she still working there? Why didn't she lose her job? Is it because her mom and the boss are best friends? Is it she's always a favorite over there and never gets in trouble? Is it because I'm Mexican and they're white? I mean, what's really going on in that daycare that I am the only one being charged with all these charges and everything against me when I was not the only one? She goes back there into the baby room every single day for an hour, 30 minutes at a time to the baby room. And we're kind of like floaters. We're where we're needed at and where we're needed to be at. So she's always going back there. And word got around that she's the one that did it. And nobody knew my situation or what was going on that day. So how would she even know why I was upset or what was going on if she was not the one to do anything to my daughter or touch my daughter to begin with? All I remember is what was leading up to it. And then after everything had happened, I didn't even know the extent to what I had did. Like, I didn't know. I went to my parents that night. I said, I got fired. I lost it. I told them everything that happened. I was like, I honestly don't even know what I did. I didn't know anything that was going on until I was at work and it came on in the news that I was being sued and the video was on there as well. I didn't even know I did any of that. I honestly lost it. I blacked out. I was there for about 10 months. I never had any problems with nobody at all until she started working there. And when the officer was there and I was giving him my statement, in front of my boss, Ashley, I even told her, if you would have taken care of Cherokee a long time ago, then this would have never happened, because there was problems with Cherokee since she has started. With Cherokee said this, Cherokee said that. It's always coming back to Cherokee, and you didn't do nothing about it, ever. So this all could have been prevented. Even when I first got to work and I was clearly upset about my daughter having bruises on her arms, I was still sent back to work. As far as I know, no. She told me she was going to go over the videos and talk to one of the girls in private and see if she comes up with anything. But everything that happened that day, nothing was done. And I had already did what I did and lost my job. So she already got what she got, And from my understanding, that was the end of it. The officer told me, you'll be receiving your court date within the next 2 weeks. I'm sure you're going to be fine. And that was the end of it until everything came out on the news, and then I'm hit with all these charges. I was never notified that I couldn't be around children. I was never notified that I was not allowed to work at another facility that had children. I was never told any of that until the day I was already worked at another daycare for a whole day, until the end of that day when they came and told me, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. Well, you guys never gave me a paper. I was never notified. Nobody told me any of this, or else I would have never went and done that. It's honestly making it hard for me right now to even find a better job than the one I'm at right now, and trying to keep the job that I'm at right now because of everything that's going around and the saying and the bashing that I'm getting all over the internet and all over the news with me being this horrible person. Oh, I'm charged 13 counts of child abuse. You know, people doesn't know the real story behind all of it. I never intentionally hurt any of those children myself. That little girl would have never got hurt if she wouldn't have hit me with the door and hurt my daughter to begin with. My daughter was the first one hurt in this situation with actual bruises on her arm. What would any other mom would have done? Would another parent would have walked away from somebody that hurt their child in a situation like that? A little girl that's only 1.5 years old that can't even talk, she's the sweetest baby in the world. Who would ever want to do that? I got arrested and I went to jail for about 3 days, you know, and I understand what I did was wrong. She deserved it, but the place and the time was totally wrong, you know, but I just lost it and I blacked out, or else I couldn't walk away, I guess, you know. What other mom would walk away from a situation like that? So I dealt with what I had to deal with, and I went to jail and I got out. But you know what? I've never been in trouble a day in my life. I have never had a traffic ticket. I've never been pulled over and even had a traffic ticket. And I'm facing 38, 40 years, and I've never been in trouble in my life. I have 4 kids. That's all I do is take care of my babies, work, come home, and take care of my kids. That's it. Doctor's appointments, that's all I do. And they're trying to throw away the key on me. And I've never been in trouble in my life. I don't deserve this. She deserved what she got, but I do not deserve everything that they're trying to put on me. And now I'm just practically busting my butt to where I don't have to put them in daycare again because I don't trust it. You know, my daughter had bruises and I worked there at the time, and anything can happen. I'm sorry to the little girl that got hurt. I'm sorry to her parents that she got hurt in this. I'm sorry to the rest of the children that were present at the time, that they had to be there while something like that happened. And I would just like to apologize to all of them, and I'm very sorry.